triathletes, we're constantly talking about personal bests and personal records. There's something so satisfying about beating your previous time, and I must admit, I think it's quite a significant motivator for us. But if you've done all of that hard work in training, how do you make sure that that translates to that desired personal best? Well, today we're going to be focusing purely on running and concentrating on how to race faster. Don't worry if you don't have a GPS watch. If there's markers on the course, check where they're going to be, and then you can maybe write the times on your hand. You can just use a stopwatch to check that you're on course. And if there's not any markers, then maybe even map out points that you want to hit at a certain time. And when you are planning your pacing, you might have a target time in mind, but you still need to calculate any hills. So obviously if you're running uphill, that kilometre or mile might be a little bit slower, and then you'll need to make up for it when you hit the downhill. And if you are lucky enough to have a coach out on course, or even friends and family, you can always get them to give you some splits as well. If you can find a friend or a member from your local club who's going to be running at the same pace, then stick with them. Make sure you position yourself correctly at the start. You don't want to be too far forwards and having the faster people running over you, but vice versa, you don't want to have lots of slow runners that are going to slow you up. And if you can find a race that's got pacemakers, then that's ideal. Just make sure again you put yourself in the right place. Or if you're really lucky, you might have a friend who's willing to sacrifice their race and actually pace you. And if all of that fails, then just make sure you do a race that's going to have lots of runners going at a similar pace to you, especially if there's a headwind. You can tuck in and get an advantage that way. If you run with a heart rate monitor, then you can use this to help you pace as you know your limits. If you are just running for feel, make sure you've practiced race pace plenty of times in training so that you know you're not going to go out too hard and get too excited and then burn out. Practice your race day warm-ups. Actually go through the full routine in training. It might sound obvious, but you need to be ready to go as soon as that gun goes off. So don't be afraid to actually work hard in your warm-up. You need to get your heart rate high, your blood flowing, so you are literally ready for the main set of your session. Also include some strides and some dynamic stretching just to really make sure you're mentally and physically ready. Choose a race shoe that you're comfy in and maybe is a little bit lighter. Whatever it is, make sure though it's worn in enough but still nice and new to give you plenty of support. And as for the rest of your kit, why not treat yourself to some race day kit? And I find that just gives you a little psychological boost if you know you're wearing something that you really like. And I personally always like to race in shorts and a vest top, as I feel that having my knees and shoulders free gives me that bit more freedom, and I think it's mainly a psychological benefit. But anything else that just helps you get into race mode, whether it's having your hair done, wearing cap, wearing glasses to help you focus, work out what works for you. Find a flat course if you can, and one with a smooth terrain, or maybe you could even slightly cheat. For example, my parkrun course at home actually finishes lower than it starts. And then also just do your research, because some courses, for no obvious reason, are just known to be quicker. Work out whether you're someone who races better in the heat or the cold, and then try and choose a race accordingly. Obviously, you can't do much about it once you've already entered, so do keep an eye on the forecast and make sure you dress accordingly. Also check the wind condition that's usual for that race, because if you've got a tailwind, you're quite likely to get that personal best. Practice your race day breakfast exactly, both with the ingredients and the timings, and then go and do your training run at the exact same time that you would have your race beforehand. And the same goes for the night before, so why not replicate your pre-race meal and see how that feels for training the next day. And then finally, if you want to be really careful with your preparation and checking, find out what the bathroom situation is going to be at the race. If there's going to be big queues, make sure you factor that one in as well. If you're doing a longer race and you don't want to carry your own nutrition, then check out what the course is actually going to provide you. Make sure you've practiced with that so you know you like it. And also find out the distance between the feed stations so you can make sure you're prepared. Obviously, you're still going to have to put in the hard training miles, but with a little bit of mental preparation and some forward planning, you can significantly increase your chances of getting that personal best. So let us know if you've managed to use these tips and run a PB recently. Leave those in the comments section below. If you've enjoyed it, give us a thumb up, like, and hit the globe to subscribe to make sure you get all of our videos here at GTN. And if you're training for a marathon and you want some tips, we've got a video that will suit you right here. And if you want some speed workout sessions, we've got a video with 4 of them just here.